They don't always have the rights to do that. They don't have the rights, they'll just reach out, right? They want to uphold their end of the deal and pay what they owe, and they expect the same of you. You sign a contract that says, I didn't plagiarize any of this, I didn't steal this from anyone, it's my work, I have the right to license it to you, it's all original. Even I remember when we were doing the TLT covers, Nona's shirt has some little characters on it, and I got this email from them being like, those aren't real letters, right? We're pretty sure, but we just want to check. And I was like, yeah, no, they're all made up. And it's pretty easy to check these days because you just turn on your Google Translate app and you point it at the letters you drew. And if it doesn't translate them and you try it a bunch of different ways and it just says no language found, then you're like, nailed it. These aren't real. Yeah, you used to post little drawings of them on like forums or Twitter and be like, can anybody read this? And nobody ever could. And so I'd be like, that's great. But yeah, you're in a covenant. You make sort of assurances for them and they make assurances for you. So usually I have the copyright and I make all these assurances about the originality of the work, and they have the right to use the work as a cover for a period of time in world English, something like that, and the right to use it in sort of advertising the book. That could take a lot of different forms, and my legal counsel will tell me that, say that the publisher wanted to make shirts that have the artwork on the front. Well, actually, according to certain interpretations of the copyright or of the agreements that we made in the contract, they may be able to do that and they wouldn't have to pay me a dime. I've had covers of mine get licensed in other countries or used for audiobook editions, and I go, oh, wait a minute, and I check the contract and it's like, oh, yeah, they have that right. They don't have to consult me. And so it's just important to read everything you're going to sign and understand what the agreements you're making are. But I've never had a negative experience about a publisher using my artwork without permission. Literally ever. It's a small, tightly knit industry in some ways, as big as books seem when you just walk into a bookstore. Everybody kind of knows everybody, and they want to do right by each other, and I really like that. In my default contract with a publisher, let's use Tor as an example. When I work with Tor, their contract says that they own copyright in the visual art as a cover, for it to be used as a cover, but I actually retain the copyright just by default as part of their contract. And one of the reasons is, I've spoken to this in another video, that the publishers are taking gambles on all these books, right? It's easy to think, which ones are going to succeed and which ones are going to fail, but really they know that they don't know. And so they're trying to hedge their bets. And one of the ways they can lower the cost of the artwork is to not buy things they don't need. So they don't buy a lifetime copyright for the artwork because that would be way more expensive. When they take a gamble on it in that way, then I can take a gamble on it. I go, oh, well, this art only pays X, but if the book is popular and I can sell prints of those characters that I helped to visualize, then I'll get a big back end too. So we both get paid off if the gamble pays off, and if it doesn't, we made a living. And so that's kind of like the two sides of the coin. When I do art for Starfield, when I do art for big video games or what have you, when I work on a movie, when I work on the show Murderbot, I don't have the rights to any of that stuff. They own all that. And so I can't, you'll notice there's some things that I'm quite proud of that I will never sell art prints of because I don't want to get the pantsuit off me. But yeah, in publishing it comes by default. And when it doesn't, I will sometimes these days sort of fight for that right.